Prince of Penrith has done it again, leading the Panthers to another grand final victory. The superstar halfback has played a massive role in the Panthers' 4-in-a-row dominance. The Penrith, New South Wales and Australian halfback has certainly put himself as one of the greatest players the game has seen, and is only 26 years old. This is the story of Nathan Cleary. Nathan Cleary was born on the 14th of November 1997 in Sydney, New South Wales. He spent several years while he was young living in Auckland, New Zealand. He would go to Sacred Heart College in Auckland. As for his junior footy, he played for the Mount Albert Lions in Auckland, and when he moved back to Australia, he played for the Penrith brothers. Cleary was picked to play rep junior footy in the Panthers system, playing in the Harold Matthews Cup in the under-16s, then the SG Ball Cup in the under-18s. He was even selected to play in the Australian schoolboys team in 2015. At the start of 2016, he was picked to play for the Junior Kangaroos. Then for Penrith, he signed a contract extension that would keep him at the club until the end of 2019. Just a few days after signing his new contract, he would make his NRL debut for Panthers in round 13, playing as 5'8" as the club lost to the Storm 6-24. This would be one of the 2 games that he played at 5'8" during his professional career. It didn't take long for Cleary to score in the top grade, as the next week in round 14, as Penrith beat Manly 31-24, he scored his first NRL try playing at halfback. He continued on for a steady rookie season as the Panthers finished 6th on the ladder, and going into the finals, they won their first game in the qualifying final, but then would lose in the semis to the Raiders 12-22. He played 15 games this season, scoring 3 tries and kicking 53 goals. The 2017 season would start as Cleary as the regular first grade halfback. As we all know, he has stayed here throughout his entire career. In the middle of the season, he played for the City vs Country for Team City, as they won the game 20-10. In round 19, Cleary would even score his first career hat-trick in the Panthers' 34-22 win over the Warriors. The Panthers would have a decent season, finishing 7th on the ladder, making it into the finals. The qualifying final would see Panthers beat Manly 22-10, but then in the semi-finals, they lost to the Broncos 6-13, ending their season. He finished the season playing 26 games, scoring 11 tries and kicking 92 goals. 2018 would start with Penrith beating the Eels in round 1, 24-14. Then in round 3, as the Panthers lost to the Bulldogs 18-20, he would suffer a knee injury that would leave him on the sidelines for several rounds. Even though he was out not playing any footy, he was still thought to be picked as the New South Wales halfback, and when he returned to the field in round 11, as the Panthers beat the Tigers 16-2, he would earn his debut for the Blues, and was picked for all 3 games of the series, as they won the series 2-1. And as for the Panthers, they would finish 5th on the ladder. They beat the Warriors 27-12 in the qualifying finals, then would lose to the Sharks 20-21 in the semis, ending their season in the semi-finals for the 3rd year in a row. He played 17 NRL games this year, scoring 4 tries and kicking 40 goals and 2 field goals. 2019 would see a return for Ivan Cleary as the Panthers head coach, but this season would start out rough for the Panthers, only winning 2 out of their first 10 games. Cleary would face some criticism for the poor start to Penrith's season, but despite this, he was still picked to return to the Origin Arena for the Blues. But in the second game of the series, he would suffer a serious ankle injury that caused him to miss several weeks with the Panthers, and missed out on the 3rd game of Origin. He would return to the field in round 18 as the Panthers beat the Dragons 40-18, and in round 25, they ended the year with a 54-10 victory over the Knights, when Nathan Cleary would score 4 tries in the game. But this wasn't enough to get the Panthers into the finals, as they finished 10th on the ladder. He played 21 games this year, scoring 10 tries, kicking 58 goals and 1 field goal. Moving to 2020, we will get our first glimpse of the Panthers side we all know today. They dominated the entire season, only losing 1 game and having 1 draw, charging them into the finals. The qualifying final would see them just beat the Roosters 29-28, with Nathan Cleary scoring a hat-trick and kicking the field goal to win the game. Then, in the preliminary final, they would beat the Bunnies 20-16, and going into the grand final, they were favourites to win the premiership, but as we all know, that didn't end up happening, as they lost the game 20-26 to the Storm. After the regular season, he was picked for the Blues again in the Origin series. The series was played this year at the end of the year, due to the COVID restrictions, but the first game of the series wouldn't go too well for the Blues, losing the game 14-18. Nathan would cop more criticism for his poor performance. People were even asking for him to be dropped from the team, but in the second game of the series, he he turned it around and earned himself the man of the match. But he couldn't do the same in Game 3, and the Blues lost the series 2-1. He played 21 NRL games this year, scoring 8 tries, kicking 76 goals and 4 field goals. Despite the loss in the grand final, the Panthers would maintain their dominant form in 2021. Cleary led the team in the opening half of the season, winning all of their first 12 games, and Cleary returned to the Origin arena as the Blues dominated the series, winning Game 1 50-6, then Game 2 26-0. But after Game 2 of the series, Cleary suffered a shoulder injury and was sidelined for an extended period. He returned in round 22 as Panthers beat the Dragons 34-16. The Panthers would finish the season on top of the ladder. Going into the finals, the Panthers lost the first week to the Bunnies 10-16, but they would win their way through the rest of the final series. And in the grand final, they went up against the Bunnies again. This time, they won the game 14-12, giving Nathan his first premiership win. He played 20 NRL games this season, scoring 10 tries and kicking 94 goals and 2 field goals. After winning the grand final, the Panthers didn't slow down in 2022, dominating once again. Nathan would make a return to the Origin arena, but the Blues lost the series 2-1. Cleary would then be suspended for 5 matches after performing a dangerous tackle in round 20, seeing him miss the rest of the season. But this didn't affect the Panthers that much, as they finished the season coming first on the ladder. And as for the finals, they won the game with ease and beat the Eels in the grand final 28-12, giving them back-to-back premierships. And after the season, he was picked to play for Australia as halfback in the World Cup. He played 17 games this season, scoring 3 tries and kicking 76 goals and 1 field goal. Moving to 2023, the Panthers would once again have a dominant season, finishing first on the ladder. Cleary would play well throughout the entire year and even played in the first Origin game. But in round 14, he suffered a hamstring injury, which would cause him to miss the rest of the Origin series and several rounds for Penrith. He would return in round 21 and played the rest of the season. As for the finals, the Panthers made their way to the grand final and were up against the Broncos. The Broncos would be up 24-8 with 17 minutes left to play, and Nathan would really put on a masterclass performance, assisting in the first comeback try, kicking a 40-20 in a big moment, and really setting up the Panthers to power home at the end of the game. And with just 3 minutes to go, he would score the match-winning try, securing the grand final and producing the greatest comeback in grand final history, making the Panthers back-to-back-to-back premiers. And from this point on, many would consider them the greatest team of the modern era. He played 22 games this season, scoring 8 tries and kicking 89 goals. Now, for 2024, the season would be another great one for Penrith, but Cleary would miss several rounds in the middle of it due to a shoulder injury, with the Panthers making it all the way to the grand final for the 5th year in a row. They were surprisingly not favourites due to the Storm's dominant season this year. And just last night, the Prince and the Panthers did it again. Nathan played the game with a busted shoulder, but it didn't seem to affect him. While he still led the Panthers around the park, what really stood out was him taking on the line, riding the ball a total of 29 times, the most out of anyone in the entire game. The Panthers would dominate field possession and tire out the Storm's defensive line, particularly the forwards. This was their game plan, and it was working as they expected, and shortly after, the points would follow. Penrith would win the game 14-6, making them premiership winners 4 years in a row. What the Penrith Panthers have built is truly incredible, and Nathan Cleary has played a major role in their success. The Prince of Penrith is only 26 years old and has several years of footy left to play. I have no doubt that this won't be the last time we see Nathan on the big stage. Congratulations to the Panthers, and thanks for watching.